Hello and welcome to sentence diagramming exercise number 2. I hope you completed the warm-up already. If you haven't, please stop looking at the screen and do the warm-up because we're just going to go over it now. Here are 3 sentences from the book of Genesis. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness, and there was evening and there was morning the first day. Actually, some of these are just clauses from sentences, but that's okay. Which of the underlined clauses above contains an action verb? Which contains a linking verb? Well, B with separated has an action verb, and was and was and was are all linking verbs. So B is an action verb, A and C are linking verbs. A direct object, what gets separated? The light. Direct objects follow action verbs. A predicate nominative, that's C. There was what? There was evening. There was morning. Those are things. Those are nouns following linking verbs. They're the same as the there. Those are our predicate nominatives. And a predicate adjective, the light was what? Light was good. Good is an adjective. Following a linking verb describing the subject, that is a predicate nominative. And here, you've got this diagram. I hope this is the same one that's in your worksheet. The sentence is, God set them in the dome of the sky. Here's your subject, God, predicate, set, direct object, them. How were they set? In the dome of the sky. And this sentence illustrates for you the way that prepositional phrases can be chained together like that, where you have a prepositional phrase describing a noun that is in turn an object of a preposition. These sentences, by the way, are here not because of any particular attraction to these sentences, or they're perfectly good sentences, but we happen to be reading the Hebrew Bible in Honors English 10 when I drew up this exercise. So some of these kind of sentences are going to come from there. You'll see a lot of Shakespeare and a lot of Beatles lyrics. It's my life, picture inside my head. All right, we're going to scroll down and start doing the practice sentences. I'm going to erase. Step away and scroll. And I hope you're getting familiar with the directions. First, we're going to identify the parts of sentence, then the parts of speech of each word, and then diagram the sentence. To start with the parts of sentence, we're first going to parenthesize prepositional phrases. Outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend. We have a note here. Outside of is a preposition. Think except. So like except for a dog, a book is a man's best friend. So we're going to treat outside of as a single preposition. So if you don't have it underlined, you can underline it now. And here's our prepositional phrase. The next thing we're going to do after identifying the prepositional phrases is identify the subject. Subject is book. Next thing is the predicate. Predicate is. Book, next thing is what? Book is what? Book is man. No. Book is friend. Okay. Book is what? Book is friend. All right. A friend is a noun, so this is not a predicate adjective. Is the verb, that's a linking verb, so we have a linking verb and a noun. This is going to be a predicate nominative. Are the book and the friend the same thing grammatically in this sentence? Yes, they are. Okay, is there an indirect object in this sentence? A person to whom or for whom the action is done? No, there is not. So we're done with that. Done with parts of sentence, moving on to parts of speech. Outside of is a preposition. Is an article. Dog is a noun. Is an article. Book is a noun. Is, as we saw, is a linking verb. Is an article. Man's is an adjective. What kind of a friend is it? But it's also a possessive. Best is an adjective, and friend is a noun. Okay, time to diagram. We start with the main line. We've got a linking verb, so the diagram is going to look like this. And we put the parts of sentence on the main line. Book is friend. Now, here we've got this prepositional phrase. Where does it go? Outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend. Now, let's think about this for a second. Could we move it to the end of the sentence? A book is a man's best friend, comma, outside of a dog. We could. The prepositional phrase can go at the beginning of the sentence or at the end of the sentence, That means it's acting as an adverb describing the predicate. And I wrote outside and of on the diagonal line because I said we could over here. Outside of dog, a book is a man's best friend. Okay, we did outside of a dog, a book is, okay, we've got this article and two adjectives here. A man's, remember, it's a possessive, so it goes in a lazy L. And best is an adjective, modifying friend. Outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend. A man's best friend. We are done. Time for number 2. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to see. So these two sentences go together. They're a quote, pretty famous one by an American comedian named Groucho Marx. Outside of a dog is a book. Excuse me, let me try that again. Outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to see. Get it? Because outside of could mean like except for, or it could mean like on the outside of a dog and inside of a dog. Oh, okay. So to see is a prepositional phrase describing dark. Okay, so we know what we're going to do with that. Inside of, we should treat that as a single word again. All right, the first thing you need to do is identify prepositional phrases. There are 2 of them in this sentence, I believe. Pause the video if you need to, identify them. All right, I hope you found inside of a dog and to see as the prepositional phrases. Notice you've got a note right here telling you what to do with to see. Okay, the next thing to do is identify the subject and the predicate. Pause the video, do that now. All right, the subject is it, and the predicate is. If you labeled it above these words, of course, you know that's fine, okay? When it's in brackets, that means like, hey, here's how to think about this stuff that just came before. All right, now, it is what? It is to. No, that doesn't make sense. It is what? It is dark. Yes, that makes sense. Excuse me for a second. All right, it is what? It is dark. I hope you can tell that is a linking verb. Dark is an adjective. That means that dark is going to be a predicate adjective. It answers the question what? It follows a linking verb. It's an adjective describing the subject. It's a predicate adjective. Is there an indirect object? No, there is not. There's no one to whom or for whom this action is being done. And so please take a moment, pause the video to label your parts of speech. Okay, I hope you did something like this. Inside of is a preposition, is an article, dog is a noun. It is a noun, is a linking verb, dark is an adjective, to is an adverb. How dark is it? Too dark. It is possible for adverbs to describe adjectives. That's one of the things they can describe, and that's what this one is doing. It's an intensifier. How dark? Too dark. And then to see, we've got that as a prepositional phrase describing dark. Okay, time to diagram. Set up your main line. Pause the video. Okay, I hope this is what you got for a main line. It is the subject, is or apostrophe s is the predicate, dark is the predicate adjective. It is dark. Okay, that leaves us with 2 things. Inside of a dog and three things. Inside of a dog, the prepositional phrase, to, an adverb, and to see, another prepositional phrase, which you have directions for how to diagram. Why don't you take a pause with the video, do that diagramming, and then we'll go over the rest of it. All right, here you go. Inside of a dog could be at the end of the sentence instead of the beginning. It's too dark to see inside of a dog. So the fact that it could go at the beginning or the end tells you that it's a prepositional phrase acting as an adverb describing the predicate. So that's why it gets diagrammed there. Okay, inside of a dog. We did it isn't dark already. Okay, to is an adverb describing dark. Nouns and verbs go on horizontal lines. Modifiers go on diagonal lines connected to the words they modify. So to as an adverb is no different there. And to see, we've got directions for how to diagram that over there. Okay. All right, we did it. For number 3, here's the sentence. Mr. Day has grown inured to the sound of sucking teeth. Treat underlined phrases as single words. Inured, by the way, means so accustomed to it or so used to it that it has no effect anymore. So don't do it. Or do it, but it's like water off a duck's back. Know that. No effect. Okay. Please label the parts of the sentence first by identifying prepositional phrases, then by identifying the subject and the predicate, then asking yourself, what? And figuring out whether you have a predicate adjective, predicate nominative, or direct object. Then thinking about if you have an indirect object. That's how to do parts of sentence. Then do all the parts of speech, then diagram the sentence, following rules of sentence diagramming, number 1 and number 2. Pause the video until you're done, because we're going to go over this pretty quick. All right, here we go. There are 2 prepositional phrases, to the sound and of sucking teeth. So we parenthesize those and then look at the rest of the sentence. Mr. Day has grown inured. Mr. Day and has grown is the subject. Has grown is a linking verb. Oh. Has grown is a linking verb. I'm going to keep talking even though we can't see the sentence because we've got the diagram right here. I hope you can tell that inured is an adjective and that it's describing Mr. Day. So it's a predicate adjective because the adjective describes a noun. It's way back here at the subject. So Mr. Day has grown inured. Subject, predicate, predicate, adjective. Or subject, predicate, predicate, adjective. Mr. Day is a noun. Has grown is a linking verb. Inured is an adjective. To the sound, preposition, article, noun. Of sucking teeth, preposition, adjective, noun. Here we go. Mr. Day has grown inured. Subject, predicate, predicate, adjective, backward slanting line, because that's how you do a main line with a predicate adjective. Now, how have I grown? How inured am I? What is the matter of my being inured? Well, I am inured to the sound of sucking teeth. And so, to is a preposition. Sound is the noun, that's the object. To the sound. And then of sucking teeth describes the sound in this prepositional phrase. Notice that if we just said, Mr. Day has grown inured of sucking teeth, that doesn't make sense. So that means that of sucking teeth can't be connected directly to the word inured. It has to be connected to something else which is connected to inured. And that's, so Mr. Day has grown inured, I have, to the sound. What kind of a sound are we talking about? An of sucking teeth sound. And there we go. We have 2 prepositional phrases chained together, just like in the warm-up. What? Okay, I hope you did a good job. And I'll see you for sentence diagramming exercise number 3.